Alright, so I just wanted to give a quick rundown of this bike. This is a Swagtron Swagcycle EB-5. I bought it about a week ago, and I just wanted to let you guys know like what my thoughts have been since getting it. I live in Philadelphia, and riding around the streets is actually pretty good. It goes, I think, about 15 miles an hour, about 16 miles an hour. I'm 165, 170, 6'2", and it fits me pretty well. Like, if I were any taller, I doubt it would. Like, I think 6'2" is about the max height you could be. With the weight, it goes, I think, the advertised speed. The mileage in the city is about, like, I can have 2 bars left at about 15 miles, or 12 miles-ish. So that's with like minimal pedaling, really just when I'm starting up, and not even every time I start up. The most I think it could go with pedaling is if you pedal maybe 50 to 75% of the time, you could probably get up to 20 miles. But if you pedaled like 100% of the time, I'm sure you could get like 30 miles, depending on how much incline there is and the other conditions. The comfort is fine. Like, the seat is, as you see, it's just like a basic bike seat. It's not the most comfortable thing in the world. I'm definitely gonna get a new one with like shock absorption and more padding. The thing with the accelerator is you have to hold it down the whole time, and it's kind of stiff. So holding it down for 20-30 minutes at a time, your hand kind of gets sore, but I'm sure that will go away as you do it more and more. The battery takes about 5 hours to charge. I think that's what they said on their website. Pedaling, it's 1 speed. This is the EB-5, so you're not really going to be able to go faster than the accelerator can take you with the pedals, unless you pedal like extremely fast. It doesn't have any shock absorption. I did get a basket for the front of it, for just deliveries and stuff. The thing with putting a basket on it is you can see here, like, the brake lines kind of go in the front of the bike. So I had to like move them to the side, so it made putting this on pretty difficult. But I don't know if it's just this basket that is causing that difficulty, or that's going to be every basket. But that was kind of an issue for me. Got some headlights and stuff. Like, all the poles and everything are pretty standard mounting size. So like, if you want to get a headlight or any other accessory, like a phone holder or something, it should be fine for what you need. It folds up to more than half the size, which is awesome. So you can put it in the back of your car pretty easily. The main thing that I didn't see much online was like how well it performs, A, in the rain, and B, under normal use and just like distance. So yeah, 15 miles for the city with minimal pedaling, I think, is very good, because you can basically get anywhere. Philly is like an average sized city, I guess, maybe a little bit bigger. You could probably get from North Philly to South Philly with a little bit of charge left, maybe more than a little bit of charge left. Also, the power assist, like when you pedal and the acceleration is supposed to come on, only works like 50% of the time. I don't know why, but for me, like, honestly, at this point, it's not much of an issue because I don't use it that much. I'll just hit the accelerator and pedal. I heard a few other people had the same issue where it's like the accelerator wouldn't engage when you start pedaling. It might get to the point where I just want it to function properly and I return it or use the warranty. I bought an extra 2-year warranty for $40, which, if you're buying this bike, definitely worth it, because it, like, honestly, it's pretty well built and everything, but I don't know if it will last 2 years, like, without like any replacement parts. Let's see, what else? The main problem I had was that some of the parts seemed pretty refurbished when they came. Also, the rear tire came a little bit deflated. It wasn't popped like some of the reviews I've read said it was. So I just filled it up a little bit and it's fine. Some of the, like this piece right here came a little bit rusted. So I don't know if that's like, I don't know, it got wet in the packaging or something, or it's a refurbished part, but that's not the best. This piece is a little bent, this bolt. Doesn't really matter, doesn't affect the performance or anything. Obviously this is pretty dirty from my driving it. So the rain performance, it's not necessarily rated for IPV or IPX6 or whatever it's called. It's IPX4, which means splash resistant. I rode it in the rain once, pretty heavy rain. I didn't mean to, I was out and then it started raining. And it's fine, like from what I can tell, nothing negative happened to the performance. The biggest danger, I'd think, for the rain damaging the bike is this part, like the accelerator and the motor in the back. Also, the charging port is right there. It has a little rubber thing, which is really annoyingly hard to pull out and get in there. But it does, I'm pretty sure, protect a decent amount from water getting in. If it was on the side, it would be much less likely to get water in there, but it's whatever. It looks like it works fine. I would just let it dry completely before you start charging it, if you do happen to get it wet. I know a few people have said that they got a fender that comes from here out to protect from like water splashing up from the wheel. I don't have that. My butt does get pretty soaked when I'm driving through the rain, which is fine for what it is. I mean, this costs $500 with tax, like $120 or $525. Just judging based on like how far it goes and how well it performs, like totally worth the $500, especially if you're in a city. I think this is kind of like the ideal budget city commuter bike. You can bring it to the office, fold it up, plug it in. Actually, I guess it can't charge while it's folded, but it may be able to. Actually, I haven't tried it out, but it's 50 pounds, 50 pounds with the bike or the basket and everything. It's probably 50 pounds. So it's not ideal to carry around, but if you need to, like I'm not the strongest and I can pick it up with one hand pretty easily. So if you need to bring it up like a flight of stairs, it's not the end of the world, but carrying it around the city or while you're walking around is definitely not going to be the best. Yeah, the bike seat is universal fit, so if you want to get a new bike seat, you just pop that one off and put the new one on. The acceleration is pretty solid. I did notice that when the battery starts running like 2 bars lower than full, like, so I guess 50-ish%, maybe 75, the acceleration decreases like pretty significantly. The speed is about the same when you're at that point, but it's odd. Like the acceleration goes from like 0 to 15, and actually I have no idea. It definitely is a noticeable difference though. Like when it's full charge and you're sitting on the seat and you hit the acceleration, you might fall off if you aren't holding yourself steady. But if the battery is at 75 or below, you really don't have to worry about any falling off. This is a charger. Pretty basic. Turns green when it's done charging and red when it's charging. Yeah, I think that's everything. Actually, this is another problem I had. These grips twist pretty easily. So you kind of have to adjust them pretty often, because if your hand is like this, you're kind of pressing down a little bit while you're gripping, so it will kind of twist by itself, which is kind of annoying. I don't know if you can tighten it. I can't really see down there. guess that maybe there's a screw or something that you can tighten it with, but it's definitely more comfortable if it's like positioned like this, and if it goes down, it's kind of like a little bit less comfortable long term. The brakes work fine. They squeak when they're wet, which usually it's not wet. I saw a lot of people having problems with it squeaking when it wasn't wet, so maybe it's just the luck of the draw kind of thing. I do, like, again, my biggest gripe with it is the parts that look refurbished. The pedals, some of the pieces around the wheels look a little bit jank. Not that like unfunctional or anything, just like a little bit worn when I bought it. The kickstand too, a little bit. Kickstand works great. I did find that like when I do Postmates a little bit, so like when I pull up to someone's house, leave the bike on the sidewalk for a second, it kind of like might like move backwards just because of the way the thing is positioned. It will like still move, especially when there's wind, which isn't the end of the world, but it's kind of annoying, but it's whatever. The reflectors and everything kind of come a little bit loose, so you might have to tighten it. The bell is great to have. It's came with it, and yeah. I think that's about it. Actually, the stem on the rear wheel, I don't know if this is a problem or just like a standard thing that happens, but before I inflated it, and maybe even now, you can see it kind of gets pushed in. I don't know if that's a standard problem, but sometimes, like when I first got it and was inflating the wheel, I put the nozzle on to inflate it, and it kind of just got pushed all the way back, so it's kind of hard to put the nozzle on. It wasn't like stuck in or anything. It was just like very short and difficult to inflate, but right now it looks fine. It might have just been like the low tire pressure, but I don't know. Yeah, I think these are standard size tires and tubes. So if you take it to a bike shop or want to replace the tires yourself, you won't have much trouble. The EB-7 comes with, actually there's the EB-5 Elite or something. It's like, this is the EB-5 Pro. Actually, I don't remember which one exactly it is. It's whichever one does not have a removable battery. There's a level above the EB-5 that has a removable battery, and it's like $50 more or something, but it didn't have Prime shipping, and I really needed this fast. The battery costs like $100 to $200, depending on where you're buying it. The EB-7, like really the only thing better about it is it has suspension right here. It has one like single like shock, which honestly I don't think that would do much, just because a lot of the bumps come from the front. It also has a headlight, and which, I mean, I bought the taillight and the headlight for $15, and they work pretty well. So it doesn't seem necessary for me to spend the extra $100 on the EB-7. The battery life and the speed, acceleration are all the same on the EB-7. So yeah, it wasn't really worth it to me. The ride isn't horrible. Like, it doesn't have any suspension, as you know, but Philly doesn't have the best streets. So as long as you're kind of just putting your weight on the pedals when you're going over bumps, it's fine. The wheels are kind of small, so if you hit a big bump, like a big pothole, you might like flip or something. I haven't had that happen. But just like the nature of small wheels is that you can't really go over bigger bumps or bigger like curbs or anything, which is fine. Just pay attention to where you're going. You'll be fine. Yeah, that's about it. My main gripe was just the refurbished parts and the placement of the bike or the brake lines, because it just kind of hinders where the bike basket can go. So yeah, if you have any questions, just comment and I'll respond pretty quickly. Thanks.